These are 5 things that I've sacrificed in my life to make $30,000 a month and become rich. And these are just mine. You don't have to agree with them, but this is what I had to do to start really seeing the money come in every month. Number 1, I prioritize my business over fitness. And I know you guys probably aren't going to like that answer, but in the beginning stages, when I would wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, the first thing I would do was go to my business. My business, I ate, slept, drank, breathed, nightmares, everything was my business. And I put aside going to work out because I prioritized eating healthy so that I could cut out the gym, because the gym was too much time and I wanted to give all my time to my brand and to building what I had. Number 2, and a lot of people aren't gonna like this either, relationships was a no. Absolute no. I prioritized me, myself, and my business before anything, and relationships in the beginning just wasn't gonna cut it. I did not have time to date. I did not have time to see anyone. I did not have time to have anyone sleep over because I would literally be editing until 3 o'clock in the morning. And honestly, men are a distraction. If you want my honest opinion, men are distractions and they will get you off your game. Like, if they do something that upsets you, you're not thinking about what you need to be thinking about. If they don't show up and they let you down, your energy's low. Like, in the beginning, I think I went on a couple dates and they didn't go that well. And my energy for like 3 or 4 days was shot. And I was like, yeah, I can't do relationships while I'm trying to build my brand. It was one or the other, so I gave up relationships for many years. And number 3, I gave up a lot of friendships that were no longer serving me. So friends that were only using me for what I had or not bettering me in any way, yet they had to go. I just had to let go of a lot of dead weight, because dead weight will always bring you down, and I needed to be around people that brought me up, because I truly believe you are who you hang out with. Number 4, I gave up going out and I gave up drinking. So those are kind of like go hand in hand. So I gave up both of them. I stopped going to the club because I wanted to make sure I could get up early to work and run my business. So I had to go to bed earlier, which meant no more clubbing. And then I also gave up alcohol. I did not have time to be hungover or time to feel like shit, because we had to work every single day to build what we were building. And those 2 things just were not aligning with what I wanted. So I completely gave up going to the club and drinking alcohol. I still, even after making it, I still don't drink alcohol. It's just more of like a focus thing, and I would like to be sharp and on top of my shit when it comes to my business. So I still no longer drink or party, like even after making it. It's just not for me. Number 5, this was a hard one in the beginning. I think my parents understand now, but it was giving up a lot of time with my family. I used to work nights, weekends, holidays, games, like anything. I was constantly working. I live thousands of miles away from my family. I had to move out of my very small town to go to a big city, because I believe you are who you hang out with and your environment shapes you. So I did have to leave my family, and I sacrificed living next to them for a better life. And unfortunately, when the work got very, very busy, I was giving up also nights, weekends, and holidays. So there were many holidays that came and went that I did not get to see my family, because I was working and building, and I knew that in order to go and see them, I was going to have to be able to make my own money passively, not clocking in, so that I could fly to them whenever I wanted. So unfortunately, for some years, that just meant I wasn't able to come home for Thanksgiving or Christmas because of that. But yeah, those are the 5 things that I sacrificed to make $30,000 a month. We're headed into high 6 figures for the year, and I love my life. I love everything about it, but it did come with a lot of sacrifices. Being successful takes sacrifice, and I want people to understand that. And those were just the 5 things that I gave up. Could be different for you guys, but those were the things that stood out the most for me in my journey.
Unhinged successful girl habits I did not notice until I started working in New York and LA. Like, some of them are batshit crazy. First, they work 24/7, 90-hour weeks, weekends included. I think a lot of people assume that entrepreneurs or people who are doing really well have a lot of free time, but that is definitely just not the case. And all of them just want whatever it is they're chasing more than everyone else, which is why they're able to work so much. Next, they just have no problem saying no. When you're that busy, you just don't have time for fuckery. This one's kind of obvious, but they all get up early. I think it's no surprise that your day just feels so much longer when you wake up at 5 a.m. Lastly, time is money, and girl, they know how to save it. Even if they don't make a ton, they'll do anything to save time, whether it's Ubers, meal delivery, a cleaning lady, you name it.
Women reveal the UNHinged things they did to be rich and successful. Let's be honest. When someone says, I became successful, we imagine perfect morning routines, green smoothies, and journaling at sunrise. Then you hear the real stories, and you're like,
I'm going to tell you guys some unhinged things I did in my early 20s to make more money, and I would like nobody to pass judgment here. And if you are going to do that, then please keep swiping because I'd rather you didn't. Okay, so the first thing was when me and my ex broke up in my early 20s, I gave him around 3 to 6 months to claim for his clothes, which he did not do. Therefore, I sold all of his old clothes on Vinted, which were at my house because I don't want them. Note to self, if you and your ex break up and they don't ask for their clothes back, stick them on Vinted. Okay, the second thing was at one point I worked in beauty, and if you've worked in beauty, you know that like you just have so much makeup and stuff. Like the overconsumption is real. Once I left, I basically just sold everything. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you how much money I made, but we made a lot. Okay, the third thing I did, which I feel like other people do, and let me know if you do, because I always used to think it was just me that did this, but when I would order things from the sale, like Zara or whatever, and you know at the start of the sale, you get a bit of discount. You get like 20%, but you don't get like the core best bit of the sale, which is like 50-60%. So I used to order stuff and then basically watch to see if the price went down, and if the price went down, I would order that item again, but log it as I'm returning the first item, but actually send that one. So then I would make money back, if that makes sense. So if I bought it for £60 and it got reduced to 30, I would order the £30 one, but send it back as the £60 one. So I would get £30 back. Kind of toxic, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Unhinged things I did to make my first million at the age of 22, just 4 years after starting my business. Let's go. Number one, I said we before I said I. I was 18 years old when I started this business, okay? Who was anybody to trust me? I knew the only way that I was going to build trust is if I made myself a bigger deal. I'd get on calls with people and be like, oh yeah, we built out a whole entire trainerized library. We being people thinking that I had a team. Make yourself a big deal. Make yourself seem confident. People are going to buy into that. Number two, I leveraged the shit out of relationships. And when I say that, I mean I literally started dating a guy when I was 18 who lived in LA. I got the fuck out of my hometown. I moved in with him only 2.5 weeks after meeting him in person. He taught me high ticket sales. I leveraged the shit out of that. He cheated on me. I left his ass. I took all the skill sets and I built a business with it. 3, I charge a metric fuck ton now, but when I first started, I actually took on a couple of beta clients who I charged a lower price point that I knew would work their butts off. But here's the thing, I did my paperwork first, okay? I got these girls incredible transformations, but they were also responsible for posting testimonials, letting me use their media in content, and also posting on their feed about my coaching company and the results that they were getting. And if they didn't stick to it, I dropped their asses. 4, I repurposed the shit out of content. If I had one concept, one client win, it became a talking head reel. Then it became a story post. Then I put it out into my email. I wanted people to see this content literally everywhere, and I wanted to have an omnipresence so people could see me everywhere. Take one idea, turn it into multiple pieces of content. And lastly, I low-key brought a tripod and a camera everywhere that I went, and I would film myself literally everywhere, especially when I was at the gym. Even if the gym had a no camera policy, I wanted people to come up and ask me what they were doing, and kid you not, I probably signed at least 25 clients in the first year of my business just from people coming up and starting conversations with me around why I was filming my workouts, why I was filming myself, and why I was doing talking head videos. You have to leverage attention, my friends. If you want to build a business, if you want to make millions, you cannot be casual about your business. And if your business feels stuck, it's probably that you don't need more hustle, it's that you need a diagnosis and you need a lot more clarity. And this is exactly why I built a business blueprint. It's a 5-step system that I give out to free for coaches who are just getting started or want to scale to their first 6 figures in business. If you want to grab it, just comment the word blueprint down below and I'll send it to you.
Wait, you did WH? Because success isn't always pretty. Sometimes it looks like saying no to almost everything. Sleeping less than you'd like. Moving to a city where you know absolutely nobody. Or filming videos in public while everyone secretly thinks you're weird. Yeah, not exactly the glamorous montage Instagram promised. Here's what stood out to me. The women who built incredible careers weren't magically more talented. They were just ridiculously committed. While everyone else was saying, I'll start Monday, they were already 3 Mondays ahead. Some gave up parties. Some stopped dating. Some even walked away from friendships that kept pulling them backward. Now, does that mean everyone should copy those choices? Absolutely not. Success isn't about living someone else's life. It's about deciding what you're willing to trade for the future you actually want. And here's the funny part. Most people think wealthy people have unlimited free time. Meanwhile, many of them are scheduling lunch like it's a board meeting. That's not obsession. That's priorities. One lesson I kept hearing over and over was this. Stop trying to look successful. Start becoming valuable. Because nobody pays you for looking busy. They pay you for solving problems. Another thing? Perfection was nowhere to be found. These women posted before they felt ready, launched businesses before they
I'm going big, I'm making huge changes, I am terrified, and I'm doing it anyway. So here are 3 things that I'm doing to 10x my income in the next 12 months. I feel like we are about to witness the most massive shift in millennial women's careers and income. We're 40 years old now, we have families, we've been in the workforce for 20 years, and we're looking around and we just thought that we would be further along by now. And this is coming from someone that is the founder of a skincare brand. I am successful on paper by any definition, and I still feel I have not reached my full potential, and it's frustrating. So here are 3 things that I'm doing to 10x my income in the next 12 months. Number 1, I am fully done caring what people think about me, and when I reflect on my career, this is actually something I've done every time I've made a big leap. I transitioned from fashion to tech sales. I transitioned from tech sales to starting a skincare brand, and now at 40, as a first-time mom, I'm adding content creator to my list of careers, and it is horrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Every single time I hit post, I cringe at the thought of who's gonna see it. However, my dreams for my family matter 1 million times more to me than anyone's opinions ever could. So I am scared, I'm doing it anyway, and here we are. Number 2, I'm getting my financial infrastructure in order. And this is sort of like dressing for the job that you want, not the job you have. So my husband and I got on Monarch Money to combine our finances and just make everything really clear. Not an ad, by the way, we pay for Monarch and we absolutely love it. We also have a plan for investments. We have a plan for our daughter's financial future. And this is just like the ultimate exercise in manifestation. I am behaving the way that wealthy people do. Number 3, I am being a little delusional with my goals. I am shooting for way more than is realistic, because if, for example, you say I want to make $1 million a year, that is going to require massive, huge leaps, changes in behavior, way more than if you say I want to make 10% more income. And this is all about big, extraordinary leaps, enormous life changes. So I am shooting for 10x, 10 times my current income. And ultimately, the way that I'm going to make this money is online. I have made almost $40,000 in the last 3 months on social media, but these 3 things are super, super important because I think a lot of it is mindset. So I'm focusing on these 3 things. If you are a millennial woman also thinking about a transition or going through a transition, I'd love to hear what's working for you. And please feel free to follow along. I'm going to keep sharing my updates, and I will see you next time.
The most successful wealthy women that I work with play this game so well. And it is the reason that they continue to go from one income level to the next, while most are just sitting around wondering how the hell they're doing it. And I play this in my Facebook group. You want to know what that game is? Truth and, not or, but truth and dare. Matter of fact, let's play a round of truth and dare now. If you dare. I couldn't resist. Oh, and if we haven't met, I'm Lisa. As crazy as I look right now, I help my clients 3x their income in 1 quarter, just like I have while homeschooling my 2 children. So truth. It's not that you don't have time to get on social media and market your business. You want it to be perfect, while others are doing it no matter what the conditions are. Now that we're honest about the fact that it's not necessarily a time thing, we can actually find a real solution. And this is where the dare comes in. I dare you to go and create a piece of content right this minute. No matter what your house looks like, no matter what you look like, put clothes on because I don't want you to get banned. No matter how you're afraid of sounding, get that trust and self-trust core success subconscious dynamic tightened by doing. When I was scared of going live in my Facebook group years ago, which is what essentially built the business that I have now, I did something wild and extremely liberating. I went on looking very similar to how I look right now. See, myself and other women who are successful and hell-bent on creating wealth, we tend to dive right into the things that most people are running from. And I'll tell you right now, procrastination is a sundae, and perfectionism is the tempting cherry on top that makes it make sense, helps you justify to yourself why you should continue waiting. But just keep this in mind. Every second that you wait, every day, week, month, and year that you allow to go by, there's someone like me willing to just do the damn thing. understanding that money loves two things: speed and decisive action. Comment below and let me know if you took your dare.
These are 5 insane things that I did to become a self-made millionaire by the time I turned 21. This is going to be fun. Number 1, we're going to start with a banger. I spent over $100,000 before I turned 21 on learning from people who had been where I wanted to go. From the revenue that I was making from my business, I decided to invest as much of it as I possibly could into my own skill development. What I found was that through investing this money into different mentorship programs, really just learning hands-on from people who had achieved the things that I was wanting to achieve, it helped me to grow so much faster. A lot of people are like anti-mentorship or anti-courses. Then you may as well be anti-growth. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a firm believer successful people never stop learning. If you think you've got it all figured out, probably not going to end up getting to the levels that you want to be at. Number 2, I started my business while I was still in college, taking 19 hours of college classes. People love to say things like, I'm just too busy. I've got this. I've got that. Everybody is busy in the present, okay? But you need to do things that are going to make you uncomfortable. So I started my business while I was in 19 hours of college classes. I was taking night classes as well as day classes. I was basically on campus from 8 a.m. to sometimes 10 p.m. I was taking one of my very first sales calls from a closet that I found at my college. Number 3, I dropped out of college just 4 months after starting my business because I had so much faith in myself that I was going to make this work, that I wanted to put all of my time and attention to making it work. And we did. Number 4, I must have not known what soliciting was because I decided that I was just going to go in person to a ton of different stores and start pitching my services and just chatting with people. And I did. And I ended up signing clients from it. If you want something bad enough, you will do it. And last but not least is number 5. I stopped taking advice from people who I would not trade lives with. I think especially starting my business younger, I literally started it at 19 years old. Everybody wants to give you advice. Everybody wants to give you input. And most of the time it comes from a place of love, like people are excited for you. However, the noise can get really loud. So I made the ultimate decision that I had to stop taking advice from people who I would not switch lives with. This is just the tip of the iceberg, so I'll be doing more on this later. Moral of the story here is that if you too are crazy, you can be a self-made millionaire as well.
I have noticed something strange about wealthy women. They are completely comfortable looking a little bit irrational. I'm a recovering spendaholic in 5 figures worth of debt, and I've realised that the more unhinged my habits get, the wealthier I become. Here's one that sounds ridiculous but absolutely works. Every time I see a green car, or more specifically a green Mini, I know that money is on its way to me. I don't know how I'll get the money, but every time I see a green Mini, money comes to me unexpectedly. And that's not even the weirdest thing I do. Get unhinged, get rich.
I didn't become successful because I followed a straight path. In fact, I shit on the path. The path where it's like, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. Like, I did that. I got a master's degree. I got an $80,000 a year job offer, and I shit on it because I did unhinged side quests that made me become a millionaire by 24 years old. That's the thing. You have to do these crazy side quests in order to build a crazy, cool life. Like, you have to do things that are just for the plot in order to make a plot of your life. Because the normal life that they teach you to live, there's no plot. There's literally nothing. It's just you go to school, you work hard, you get a good degree, you work your way up, you move to the suburbs, you get a boss that you literally hate, build a life that you literally hate, and retire and die. While being in debt and not able to afford groceries. Like, there's no plot that you're missing out on. So diversify your story. Go do funny, crazy things. Like, I can think of 5 things on the top of my head, like unhinged side quests that I did in order to become me. Number 1, while all my friends were crashing out every single summer in college, I signed up to do door-to-door sales selling pest control. Not super glamorous, but it gave me the skill set and a fuck ton of money and kind of like jump-started my career in sales, and now I'm here. Number 2, everybody stayed in our hometown or our college town, and I decided to move all the way to Miami knowing not a single soul for literally no reason, just for the plot. Number 3, while everybody buys like a black or a white car, or gray car, I bought a pink Porsche just because I thought it was fun. It was just like, for the story. Number 4, when I got my heart broken, rather than sitting and crying about it, I flew first class to Cape Town and I decided to explore South Africa. And that ended up being one of the best, like, life-changing experiences for me. I met so many people, like, it was just insane. This is your sign, like, do the unhinged side quests. That is where your success will be made. You have to do different things in order to get a different result.
5 unhinged things that I did to make my old yearly income of $50,000, my monthly income to $50,000 cash months, to now my weekly income $55,000 in a week in 7 days. The last one was a risk, but is one of the biggest things that actually changed the trajectory of my income and wealth. So let's talk about it. Number 1, I completely removed myself from conversations about how broke I am or how I don't have enough, because your environment and the conversations that you dominantly are having playing a huge role in your own wealth and finances. So instead of talking about how broke or not enough that you have, completely shifted the people that I'm having conversations with, even if that included my own family members. 2, I stopped acting like somebody who operated in lack and constantly checked their bank account. So I stopped checking my bank account and instead believed that I always had more than enough. Then ultimately my account started to have way more than enough. I stopped paying such close attention to the avenues at which my income would be coming into. See, we have been programmed our whole life to believe that our only source of income is the job or career that we have, when in actuality, all rich people have 7 or 8 streams of different incomes. So I stopped focusing on that one pathway and started to open myself up to unlimited pathways that exist in this world. Number 4, I actually worked on my internal nervous system when it came to wealth. When it came to me spending money, saving money, receiving money, I really paid attention to what I was feeling at an emotional level, because your emotions are a big driver of your entire reality. If you're currently feeling anxious when it comes to spending money, saving money, receiving money, and you won't be feeling anxious when you already have all the money that you make and want in your life, we need to shift that at an emotional state. Number 5, this is the craziest one. I invested multiple thousands of dollars before I even had the money in my bank account. Signed a $50,000 yearly contract before I even started to make $50,000 cash months. I signed a $10,000 program before I even had $10K in my bank account. So I took these risks knowing that if I can be on a payment plan, enjoy this program, or receive this level of mentorship, I know I can accelerate at the speed which I receive my goals. That's exactly what happened 100-fold. That last one was honestly one of the best decisions of my life, because it took me from working 60 plus hours a week, making $50,000 in an entire year, to collapsing time, making $50,000 in cash in a month in my own business, and now collapsing time even more. I'm making $55,000 in cash in 7 days. I wasn't even physically working. I was actually traveling through Brazil. These 5 things honestly changed my brain's chemistry and ultimately my entire life. And not just my own life, but also the people I get to support throughout this world, and especially my loved ones who I financially support. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to comment on this and share this with somebody that you love. And if you would like to see more about things like this and the unhinged things that I'm doing behind the scenes, to comment and let me know, and we'll make this into a series. 3 unhinged things I did to manifest my biggest goals and dreams, like having an $83,000 cash month, getting into Harvard and Columbia University for my master's degree, traveling the world every single month. Number 1, I actually started to believe in myself. Never once doubted the fact that I was going to be successful. I did not know the how. I have pivoted my niche from being in the medical field to now running a $1 million business. And I never once doubted the fact that I was actually going to be successful. I actually trusted myself and my ability to achieve this level of success allows me to live the extraordinary life that I'm living now. Number 2, I never once doubted God. Continue to build my strength and my faith within God, and understanding there's so much unknown in this life, and that unknown can be surrendered to God. Surrendering is one of the biggest drivers and most important key ingredients of you actually manifesting your goals and dreams into existence. It's part of that law of being able to truly surrender and detach from the outcome and the result that you actually desire. Going wholeheartedly in your mind and in your body, that desire is going to be yours, that what you want is yours, or something better or tenfold what you once asked for. And so I moved with that faith, knowing that what I desire will be mine, or something even greater. I tell you, every single time I was given something far greater than what I envisioned. I wanted to travel the world, and God gave me travel 2 to 4 times a month, every single month, first in business class. For 3, actually began to pay attention to who I was being in the present moment. Your identity is your biggest driver. Your identity is who you are, and your brain does not care what you want. Brain pays attention to who you are, and who you are is your identity. Your identity is embedded in your subconscious mind. Every single day, from the moment that you were born to the moment you'll take your last breath, is this part of your brain that goes out into the world, track everything in your life, which means the faster you become the version of you that already lives the life that you desire, faster you actually achieve it. For example, I began to pay attention attention to my dominant thoughts that are constantly going through my mind and what I'm focusing on, feelings that I'm dominantly feeling and operating at from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, the reactions that I have to certain things that are going on in my lifetime, and really being present with all of that. The more I actually got crystal clear on who I am being now and who I would be when I already have what it is that I want, the faster I identified the gaps and the faster I became the woman who already has her goals and dreams in existence in her life.
Welcome back to my channel. Here are 3 unhinged things I did to pursue my last side hustle that was highly successful. At first, I started out very logically. I dabbled a little bit. I introduced it into my life in small ways. And then when COVID shut everything down and I had to step away from work, once we came back to work, I burned the boats and started fresh and put all my eggs in one basket. During the hiatus of the COVID shutdown, I did line a lot of things up. So the second unhinged thing I did that ensured that I would be relatively successful when I reopened was I lined up work at 7 different locations. That is not sustainable long term, but at the time I wanted as much exposure and experience as I could possibly get. I was all in. And the third unhinged thing I did was I had so much self-belief that on my way to the training, I was calling various clinics, lining up work so that I knew when I completed that training, I could turn around and drive home and walk into a job nearly the next day. As I was making those phone calls, I had no experience. I was not an expert in my field, but I had to act as if I felt confident and knew I was the right person for the job. All that to say, the risks, the investments, the ambition, it all paid off. It worked out. So subscribe here and you will follow along as I pursue my next side hustle in hopes that things will work out as successfully or more successfully than they did the first time. And if you want inspiration for your own, this is a great place to be. Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Here's some unhinged things I did to go from $235 to $10K in 1 month. Yes, 30 days. Number 1, I invested half of my savings into a mentor. Yes, it was extremely scary, but I had 2 options. Leave the money in my savings to make me feel some false sense of security and comfort, even though I was already at rock bottom. So that didn't make sense. That was just fear talking. Or invest the money for a much greater chance of actually making some more. And that's what I did. So that's lesson 1. Bet on yourself before you feel ready. Then I got obsessed. I asked myself, who do I need to serve? What offer will make this irresistible? No more saving random strategies off of TikTok that I wasn't gonna go back and watch anyways. Just focus. Lesson 2, I raised my prices twice. Not because I was delusional or money hungry, but because I finally recognized my worth. All of my experience, expertise, education, results I had gotten others, I had the receipts. So I stopped asking, will people actually pay for this? And started asking, am I valuing myself correctly? Okay, I gotta run, but follow for part 2.
Knew everything, made mistakes, embarrassed themselves, then kept going anyway. Imagine waiting until you're confident. You'd still be waiting. Confidence usually shows up after action, not before. And maybe the most unhinged habit wasn't selling old clothes, moving across the country, or working crazy hours. It was believing they could create a completely different life before there was any proof. That's the part most people miss. Success often starts looking a little delusional right before everyone else starts calling it obvious. So if you're chasing a bigger goal, maybe don't ask, am I ready? Ask, what small step can I take today? Because fortunes aren't built in one giant leap. They're built through hundreds of tiny decisions, made consistently, even when nobody is clapping. And who knows, one day people might call your story unhinged. But by then, you'll probably just call it